Boss told the cleaning lady to fix the jet for fun, then she did the impossible on camera. No one ever noticed Rosa until something went wrong. At 62, she moved like someone half her age, her mop gliding across the polished marble floors of Carrington Aerotech like it was an extension of her hand. Every evening, long after the engineers had logged out and the executives had slipped into their Teslas, Rosa would hum old lullabies in Spanish while wiping fingerprints off glass doors and dusting away the dreams of those too busy to notice her. She was invisible in plain sight. Until one Tuesday. That morning, CEO Matt Carrington strolled through the hangar during a rare visit to the engineering floor, sipping an overpriced energy drink and pretending to understand the schematics his tech team rattled off. The company had hit a wall, their latest prototype jet refused to lift off during testing, and the investors were getting impatient. "I thought we hired geniuses," he muttered under his breath, tossing the can into a nearby trash bin, Rosa's freshly emptied one. Then he saw her. Dressed in her navy blue uniform, a gray bun tucked neatly under her cap, Rosa was kneeling by a smudge on the hangar floor that no one else would have noticed. "Hey, Rosa, right?" Matt said with a smirk, loud enough for the engineers to hear. "Maybe you should try fixing that jet. Couldn't do worse than these guys." The room chuckled awkwardly. Rosa looked up, smiled softly, and nodded. "Okay, sir. Maybe I will," she said. Matt laughed and walked off, never giving it a second thought. But the camera mounted in the corner, monitoring for safety compliance, kept rolling. And Rosa, well, Rosa took him seriously. That night, when everyone left, she stayed behind. She didn't tell anyone that in a different life, she'd been someone else. That back in Guatemala, before the civil unrest tore her world apart, she was a mechanical engineer. One of the country's youngest female aerospace specialists. She didn't talk about how she'd fled with only her son, leaving behind a husband who vanished in the war, and the career she'd built with her bare hands. She never corrected people when they assumed she was just a cleaner. But that night, alone with the grounded jet, she stared at the blueprints left behind on the workbench. Her fingers hovered over the designs like they were old friends. Something clicked in her memory, an airflow intake misalignment that would never be caught by software alone. It was the kind of mistake that revealed itself only to someone who knew machines like family. Using nothing more than a wrench, flashlight, and her years of silent observation, Rosa began to work. The camera caught it all. The moment she opened a sealed panel with steady hands. The way she adjusted the intake valve just so, realigned a coolant circuit, and recalibrated a minor thruster outlet. It was subtle. Surgical. Beautiful. The next morning, the team arrived to find her wiping down the jet's landing gear like nothing had happened. That afternoon, without any changes logged by the engineers, the prototype took off. Perfect lift, flawless control. The engineers erupted in cheers. The test pilot climbed out of the cockpit stunned. "Who fixed this?" he asked. Silence. Then someone checked the overnight footage. What they saw left them speechless. There she was, Rosa, the cleaning lady, calmly and confidently fixing the multi-million-dollar aircraft while the world slept. The clip went viral before sunset. Across social media, headlines popped up like wildfire. Cleaning lady fixes experimental jet overnight, aerospace miracle. From mop to mechanic, the janitor who did the impossible. The woman who out-engineered the engineers. At first, Matt Carrington was livid. Who gave her permission to touch classified tech, he demanded. But public opinion was merciless. Comments poured in. Give her a job, not a mop. Imagine how many Rosas we've ignored because of their accent, age, or title. She didn't just fix a jet. She revealed a broken system. So Carrington pivoted. The next week, at a press conference staged for maximum media impact, he smiled broadly beside Rosa, who wore the same uniform she always had. "We're proud to announce that Rosa Delgado is now our lead technical advisor," he said, the cameras flashing. A true testament to the hidden talent all around us. But Rosa didn't care for the spotlight. What moved her wasn't the applause, the job title, or even the salary increase. It was the message she could finally send, to her son back in college, studying engineering like she once did. You belong in any room you walk into, she told him over the phone. Don't let them make you invisible. 2 weeks later, a young woman showed up at Carrington Aerotech's front desk holding a crumpled resume and speaking in hesitant English. When asked how she heard about the job, she simply said, Rosa. Rosa's story had lit something in people, a recognition that brilliance doesn't always come with a badge or a degree from MIT. Sometimes it comes in quiet courage. In calloused hands. In the patience to endure until the right moment arrives. And it changed Carrington too. For the first time in years, he walked through the facility not just seeing employees, but people. He started mentorship programs for immigrants and older workers. Instituted paid education tracks. And every time someone scoffed, he'd point to a framed photo on his wall, Rosa kneeling next to the jet, hands smeared with grease, smiling like someone who had nothing to prove. That smile said everything. Because she hadn't done the impossible. She had done what she'd always been capable of, finally given the chance. So the next time you pass someone mopping floors, stocking shelves, or washing dishes, pause. Because you may just be walking by a doctor. An engineer. A poet. A dreamer. A Rosa. And all it takes to change a life is to see them. Truly see them.